Getting ready to go to bed here. Got a long day ahead of me here. Um, so I apologize if this is a little off, but I wanted to at least get something out for Sunday night. Um, Razor's Edge. Michael Keaton did nothing but comedies up until he did a movie. I forget the name of it. Had to do with alcoholism. I remember watching video reviews of it, and when I was a kid, and they were in preparation for Batman, and they were saying, that he was trying to turn his career into a more of he wanted to become a dramatic actor, and that worked out really well. I don't know. This predates those efforts by Bill Murray. And there might have been a little bit of art imitating life here that Bill Murray was kind of looking for himself. And that's what Razor's Edge is kind of like. It's what it's kind of about, a guy looking for himself. I had very low expectations for this movie. And not all movies exceed those expectations in this retrospective, but this did. I was straddling the fence between 3 stars and 4, and I gladly gave it 3. I question maybe I should give it 4 because it is a good movie, but it's slow paced and it's just a little boring. Um, Cast of great actors, except Bill Murray. His acting does not cut it. He doesn't make it as a dramatic actor. Now, for him, what derailed his efforts to become a drama actor probably wasn't this film. It was probably actually Ghostbusters. This movie and Ghostbusters came out in the same year. And, once you make a movie like Ghostbusters that's a comedy and you're known as a comedy actor, you're done doing drama. There's no way you do drama after that. So this was his one shot. And it was a good one. It was a good movie. It was a great idea. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out. A couple of things I'd like to say about the film. The first is that Catherine Hicks is the leading female role that plays part of that plays. So Act One, okay, he's in World War I, and then heading into Act Two, where he kind of goes off to find himself, you learn that he has a woman he's in love with. There's a bit of a love triangle, and he goes away, so she gets married, right? A la Wuthering Heights. And he goes to find himself. And of course, when he comes back, the relationship's not there. Now, Catherine Hicks, if you don't know who that is, she starred in the show Seventh Heaven, probably her biggest role, played the mom in that. I know her from Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, and I despise her character in that movie. I really do not like that character. And I don't know if it just transferred to that actress or if I just also don't care for the actress. Now, it's not a personal thing. I'm sure she's a sweet person and she's a fine actress. I just don't like her. I don't know how to explain it. Again, it's not personal. When I say I don't like her, it's not personal. I don't know her. I don't know her at all. I just don't like her. Every time I see her, I'm just like, nah, nope. Don't even want to watch her. It's almost like I get bored and deflated the minute I see her. I know it sounds kind of mean, but I just can't get into this actress. So those scenes did not do well for me with her. And still, she's a good enough actress, though, that it plays out really well. I will say there's some things they leave you to discern for yourself, and there's other things they kind of plaster all over the place in this movie. It's a little uneven in that. There's a sense with Catherine Hicks' character with a dialogue says at some point towards the end of the movie that Bill Murray's character has killed himself. And that's something that I think I would have rather figured out for myself, that his character had died to her character. Not that I could have necessarily, but it was pretty overbearing dialogue, almost exposition. And the movie did such a good job with that, of not exactly telling you what it was about all the time. And then other times, it just was in your face. Like you had a character sometimes there's a mystery about the title of a film, right? That you should figure out for yourself. And one of the characters, a monk, says to Bill Murray's character to seek enlightenment or salvation, I think is the word he used, is like walking on a razor's edge. And I was like, so you're just going to explain the title to us in the middle of the movie? I know it sounds like I don't like the movie. I actually do. In fact, I thought it was quite thought provoking. There are some scenes where Murray is particularly in the second act, where his character is seeking answers. Right? He survived World War I. He leaves behind this love triangle, and he goes out into the world. I suppose it was Tibet. I don't really remember, to be honest with you. And they say, well, you have to go to this mountain where no Westerner has ever been seen. And you get this idea of, okay, so this is some form of esoteric ritual. And what I mean by that is you have to do what few have ever done to find the answers. And that's a very old worldly wisdom way of thinking, that in order to really arrive at enlightenment of any kind in this world, you have to do something extraordinary or different from everyone else. This movie does predate sort of that pantheistic vibe, I'm going to say vibe, that hit in the 90s. The example I like to use is Phoebe from Friends. If you want to see particularly in the pilot episode, she just comes off as sort of a, new age Eastern thinker or whatever, and that you can see that's beginning to sort of rise here. So he goes to the top of this mountain, and he's told to go alone. Meanwhile, back in the States, it's the Great Depression. And this is one of the great things about this movie, is that it's using real world philosophy, real world ideas, and real world history with these fictional characters to tell you a story. And that's kind of cool. But and it's the Great Depression, and they're using alcohol to solve their problems, and they're suffering because they don't have money. And here's Bill Murray's character is being juxtapositioned, right? He's seeking out nothingness. Now, I could be overreading a little bit, but it looks like he's looking for nirvana, which is to become nothing. They're becoming nothing unwillingly, and it's causing pain, which is kind of the whole concept of some of these pantheistic systems, is escaping desire, you escape pain. And so Murray's character is escaping desire by becoming nothing. So now he goes back to the States, and when you swing into the third act, it just falls flat. It really was. It's not bad. It's just the momentum of the second act doesn't translate well into the third act. I thought they would do a better job of showing this effort to find nirvana. They would bring that into the relationships he was having. And it just wasn't there. They just sort of resolved the love triangle. There is a really cool scene, though, where his friend is suffering from chronic headaches, and he gives him this Eastern treatment, okay? And I wondered if this was what he tells him to do is he says, hold on to this coin very lightly, and you will fall asleep, and then your headaches will be gone. And I wondered if that wasn't sort of allegory for Eastern Western thought, hold on loosely to the things of this world, like money, and all your pains will go away. You'll go into nirvana. In the end, here's the big spoiler: Bill Murray's character loses everything. He loses everything. He loses the girl. He loses both girls. He doesn't lose his friends, but it gives you the impression perhaps that they're going to stay in the East, and he's going back to America. So he goes back to America with nothing. So what is that? Well, he's achieved enlightenment, right? He goes back to America a different man. He goes back to America and needs nothing. Pretty interesting. Possible I'm reading too much into it, but I don't think so. I think that's kind of the idea they had in mind. It's good I had to think it. They did it subtle enough that I had to think it through for myself. If these subjects interest you, it's a good movie. If you really like Bill Murray, you should definitely see it. Um, I'm going to say the same thing for the last movie I did a review of, which is if you're bored with nothing else to do and you can watch this for free, go ahead and do it. And if you do, I hope you really enjoy it.